Alright, now we have our page break in. Let's go to the top of the document here to jump to the beginning button. Alright, now we're going to include left or right tab. And this is with class hours to revise 2015. You'll want to highlight this. Okay, and draw your attention to the ruler again. There's a box in the top left corner, and right now it has an L in it, and this is going to represent a left tab. You can kind of think of this box as your ammunition box. Now if you click on this once, you're going to get a center tab. It looks like an upside down T. You click on it again and it looks like a backwards L, and that's a right tab. There are many more types of tabs, but those are the three that you'll want to know about. Okay, so I have a left tab here. My area that I want to affect is highlighted. To put in a left tab, you will need that one tab in the text, and now we're going to shoot. Okay, so just click on the ruler towards the bottom. Let's do 5.5. Now as soon as I click on the ruler, a left tab is spit out and the text goes running to meet it. Okay, now if I click away, I can see it looks okay, but I kind of think it looks uneven, so I'm going to highlight it again, the affected area, and to take out the left tab, I want to click on it and drag it down like taking out a paperclip. Okay, I want to put it in a right tab. I think that'll look better. So I click once for center and once again for right. I can't click on the absolute margin here, so I click just before it and then drag it over. Alright, now this is helping you have the text look the way it does without having tab, 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 tab. All those extra formatting marks. Okay, so this is looking really good. Congratulations, that's the most difficult part of this. Alright, so one of the last things that we need to look at is adding alt text, alternative text. And you want to add alt text to any image or any table. Okay, so to add alt text to an image, click on the image, and once its outline is visible, then you want to right click, format picture, click on the third icon here. Now when I included it, did not include alt text. I didn't enter any, but it automatically fills in the file location. So a person who's using a screen reader, they get to the image and it will say image, and then it reads the description, and this description is really, really not helpful, so we're going to delete that. Okay, so what should the description be? You don't need to get really fancy with, what you see, like the American flag and red, white, and blue and stars. And no. Just think about why you included this picture. Okay, now I included it because it's the required textbook. Okay, so I'm going to put in here as the alt text, required textbook, the United States of Appalachia. Now you don't have to capitalize, or you can't italicize or bold. You just have to spell correctly. Alright, that's the only thing. Okay, now why I included a picture of the textbook here, this is best practices, particularly when you have a textbook that has multiple editions. Students might not really look to see, instead of the third edition, which you want, they might buy the second edition. But students will definitely see and buy the right one if they have a picture of the blue textbook instead of the bright red textbook. Okay, so it helps your students. Alright, so you don't have to save or anything. Just click away and it's going to be there. So let's go to week, unit, topic, basis to our table. So click on the table, and we'll click on that box in the top left. It highlights the whole thing. Right click, go to table properties. Okay, let's go to alt text now. We have title that's already filled in, and the reason why is because I said my table has headers. So this is learning activities from the header. It's going to read the title and the description if you include both. If you don't include one or the other, it will just not read the either one. But I'm going to keep the title in because it's saying that the table has headers. And my description here, just look at my headers and the first column. So I see learning activities, and then it's by week. So I'm going to say it's going to read table, learning activities, and then I'm going to put in here each week. Okay? Alright, now a word on tables. Please be extremely conservative in including tables. If the entire document is a table, this is extremely inaccessible. And the reason why is because you cannot put headers in tables. So all of this headings, you know, it won't work in a table. Also, when a student gets to a table, it will say table. And it'll say week, learning activities, each week. And then it'll ask the student if they want to enter the table. Once they enter it, they can't leave it, okay? So you always want to have small tables. Now, if this is the table you have, which is your learning activities, and this is fine, it might be that the table takes a whole page. So think about a different way to organize that. So maybe instead of doing by week, what you want to do is have a heading 3. That's August to maybe September, and then we'll make it a heading 3. Oops. So now we have August to September, and then you have just the weeks in October, August to September. And then the next one, you'll have October to December, for example, and then another table. Okay, so the student, when they are trying to navigate this, can go directly to the time that they want to see. So just be conscientious of, you know, how you're using tables. Remember that, you know, once a student enters the table, they can't leave it, so always have short tables. Make sure that they have headers, you know, so when you create the table, you'll always want to use the this table function. You'll always want to tell them that it has headers, okay, and then make sure to add alt text. Okay? Alright. Last thing I want to do is to save this document as a PDF. Alright? So we're going to go to File, Save As, tell it where to save it on your computer, and Save As Type, we'll go to PDF. And now, it's important to save it as a PDF and to share it with your students as a PDF. It is basically taking a picture of what you have. Now, you can't change that once you save it as a PDF. So you always want to save the Word document for you to change. But a PDF will allow your students who have a Mac to be able to read this as you intended it to. If you give them a Word document, it might open it up really funky. So once you save it as a PDF, click on Options, and then make sure that Create Bookmarks Using Headings and Document Structure Tags for Accessibility are checked. I'm going to say OK and save it. Okay, so here is our PDF, and when we said Document Structure Tags we use headings, here they are. So we'll click on Bookmarks, open up our Bookmarks, and here are all our headings. And we can navigate this document like this now. So we just click on this and it takes us directly to it, you know, which is really nice. Okay,